the wrapper, Kata word wrapper. This is the description. I'll give you a link later on where you can find this. But basically, what it asks us to do is to to make a function that given a string and a column number will wrap the string. In other words, will insert new line characters at the points in the string which you specify. Given the column width, then you say if it extends beyond that width, then you insert a new line so that the rest of the string falls to the next line. Something like this. If you had a small screen like this, if you gave the quick brown fox jumps over the lazy dog as a string, and you gave, for example, 25 as the column, then over the lazy dog will go to the next line in the string that is returned from the function. Claro ra? Do we understand what the kata asks us to do? Okay. But here's another twist. What if we wanted to do it so that each word will be moved together to the next line? That means if it's possible that the word is not broken when we insert a new line character, then we do that. Instead of chopping the word in the middle and then moving half of the word to the next line. Do we understand? Claro ra? Okay. So, we have some idea. We asked Clark to describe how he would solve it. So we have some idea how we do it. But let's try to do it using TDD. Let's make our test class first. Let's call this string wrapper test. And then let's make our first test. So let's make a nothing test just so that we can start with a green bar. Always start with a green bar. This won't compile. We'll have to add JUnit to the class path. Let's run the tests. Green bar. All right, we're ready to start. So, instead of starting with a test called can create class, let's just jump forwards a little bit and then make a test that calls the function directly, and then let's look at the result from that function. So let us, what is the simplest test that we can make? Yeah, that is the, like I said, we could do create a class. But let's skip that and go to the next pinaka-simplest na case, actually passing a possible test case already. Murap na siya. What is a simpler test case? The simplest test case that we can think of. It accepts a string and then that, what kind of string? No. What's naman ang simplest na test case that we can think of? Yes, mo pass siya string. What kind of string? Less than sa column number. Alright, so let's pass a string that is less than the column number. Let's call this test no wrap. So in this case, it should not wrap. Sakto? How about we start with passing an empty string to see whatever, just what would happen. Okay, ra? Let's call it empty string. Let's do that next. And then, let's say assert equals. When we pass a string, let's call our class string wrapper. We don't have it yet, but this should become red so that we can create a class later. String wrapper dot wrap. When we want to wrap, for example, an empty string, ang result niya dapat, let's say 5. Ang result niya dapat is what? What is its result? Just empty string. Something like that? Yeah? Okay, so let's fix this. And then let's create our class. Just there. And then, let's create a wrap. Actually, ni-read na siya only to me. Dili makita sa projector. And then, let's create the method wrap. There you are. It returns a string. It accepts a string. Let's call it sentence. in column there. And then let's let it return null for now, just to see that our test fails. Okay, we'll get our test to compile, and then we get our test to fail. It should fail. Yes, it does. Congratulations. What is the easiest thing that we can do to solve this, to make this test pass? Return empty string. Very good. See if it passes. Congratulations. First pass. Ako rin happy. Thanks, Japping. Plus points for enthusiasm. Okay. Next test. What is the next test? No wrap. Let's say assert equals string wrapper dot wrap. Unya, let's say A, and then let's say 5. Ang dapat i-return niya kay just A. Is that correct? Wrapper wrap. Okay. Very good. Don't you wish compilers could talk? So let's run our test. Okay, false. Dili mo work. How do we solve both of them? Let's return what? The sentence. Very smart. Alright, good job. 2 tests done. Alright. What's next? What's the next most simple test case that we can think of? If it's equal to length, then wala ra, return sentence. If it's greater than the length, but one word lang, wala space isa. Yeah? So, wrap once. One word. Assert equals, if we pass string wrapper dot wrap AA and we ask one column, ano lang. So what should it return? It should return A backslash N A. Correct? Okay, let's see it fail. Fail. All right. So how then do we solve this? We'll say if sentence dot length is greater than column, we return what? That substring what? 0 to column plus backslash n plus sentence dot substring column. So it should start at column and then continue on until the end. Sakto? That's a long line. Let's see if this runs. Green. Good job. Refactor. Do you want to refactor anything here? This long line, ang saan man na ito pag-change ni siya?
Use green.
Ang saan?
Wrap.
I don't know how, let's call, ang saan man? Let's say first line or something. First line equals sentence, something like that. Let's just leave it in for now. Okay, Rata? If sentence that length is greater than column, I think it's more or less self-explanatory. Okay? Sige. So good. Red, green, refactor, red na pod. What is next? Wrap twice. Wrap twice. One word. So assert equals a longer line, no? String wrapper dot wrap. We pass a longer line. And we ask it to give it only one column. And then we wrap it like A, backslash and A, backslash and A. Is this correct? Run our test to fail. Fail. Okay, what's next? Loop. Muna siyang thing. Should we create a for loop? How would the loop look? Let's say while something. Do while. No, let's not use do while. Do while is inferior in form to while. Do we know why? With a do while, your exit condition is at the bottom of the loop. So you're entering the loop not knowing how it's going to exit. Do you understand? To a person reading the loop, you don't know. At the start of the loop, you don't know when it's going to exit. It's very dangerous to your understanding. You have to scroll all the way down to see how it's going to exit and then go back up to continue reading. Do you understand? Code is to be written for people first, computer second. Any do while can be converted to a while. You just need to adjust your exit condition. Understand? So, avoid do while. Just use while. Okay. Alright. So, what do we do? While we need to loop something. While what? While sentence that length is greater than column. Something. Let's not break sentence. Let's add another thing. Divided by column, something. Ano yung for loop? E. That doesn't look very pretty. Here's my proposal. What if we place sentence in a temporary variable? Let's call it current equals sentence. And then what we could do is chop current up, chop until column, and then whatever remains, we'll assign that to current and then chop current again until current is less than column. What if array E? Unsaon? Chop on yung isod of array? Oh my, how long of an array? I think that's more complex. Array list? Sirit na mo, simple kayo nga solution. Sirit na mo. Simple kayo nga solution. Sirit na mo? Yeah, I did not know this until I saw the answer from Uncle Bob. But it's a very ingenious solution. Sirit na? Sige, I'll give you a second more to look at it and then to see if you can think of a simpler solution than a loop. Could we recurse? Don't we want to wrap the remaining string? Sakto? Let's get the first part, and then why don't we, instead of just returning the second part, what if we wrap this? Mag-call na po balik sa wrap on this. Sakto? That's very neat. No? Let's try it. Let's see. Do you understand? Do you understand what you want to do? Yes. Okay, let's try it. So instead of making a lot of code, let's just call wrap again, passing the substring, and then let us just pass column again. Yes? Isn't that smart? Isn't that? No? Array list? Not need an array list? Okay, so let's see the test. Let's see if it runs. Pero dili bitaw ni mao mong solution ganina. Aha! That pretty. Nag-loop me ganina, yes. Alright. What if we wrap 3 times? One word 3 times. Let's try it. Test. Wrap thrice. One word. And then let's say assert equals string wrapper dot wrap. Unsa tong 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 na lang. And then the result should be a backslash n, a backslash n, a backslash n, a. Sakto? Yes. Let's see if this runs. Ah. This is it. We're done. No, dili pa. We're not yet done. Oh, sige. But that's the key. That's the key. Whenever you get into an argument about what the next step should be, we should backtrack and ask yourselves, what is the simplest thing that we can do? Try to find the simplest solution. What is the simplest solution? Sakto? And then later on, if you get to a point nga, the simplest solution does not come out right away, it might be you need to reconsider this design. Or it might be that the tests are too big. You might want to test a smaller part, an easier test. Create an easier test so that you can pass that easily. So the idea between small tests and small production code is you can make small steps if you don't know where else you're going. So it depends on you how big of a step you want to go. But you can make very small steps with TDD. And then you can proceed with confidence. We're absolutely sure that we did not break anything while we're doing this recursion because all of our tests pass. Very good. Or we could look at Uncle Bob's solution and reserve it for the next section. All right. So, what is the next thing that we can do? Let's try katong mga words now. Oh, this is where it gets interesting. Wrap once, 2 words. What is the simplest case that we can use? Assert equals string wrapper dot wrap. How about AA space AA? And then 2 lang kaha, 2. 2. So that we'll have AA on the first line and then on the second line AA pod. You could take away the space or we could take it away. What would you like to do? Take the space away? All right. So the result should be AA backslash N. AA, something like that? Or space AA. Ana, tantangan na to? Mas simple ni siya? O sige. Pero it depends na dayon. If you do it like this, then that means we'll have to do all like that. The rule what the rule that we're making is this. Do not remove any of the existing spaces when you add new lines. That's fine, we can do that. No? Rather than replace the space with a new line character, just add a new line character in the middle. Make sense? Okay. Okay, let's see this fail. Very interesting. What would we do with this? What is the easiest way we can solve this? What is the easiest way that we can solve this? If wa pa man siya ni pass. Wa pa man siya ni pass tungod ani. Call na natong space. I doubt. I don't think this will pass still. See? So the space is not the problem. Okay. So what should we change? What should we change in our code so that whenever the space is on the column limit, then the remaining line, we add a new line character. What we want to do is add a new line character at this point, right? Sakto? So how do we do that? So how do we do that? If what? What do we do? No. Don't solve the later test cases. Don't solve the later test cases. The only test case we're trying to solve is this. All we want to do is get AA new line space AA. No. Just solve this one. We only have one space. Just solve the test case that's currently passing.
Sorry, if our case is we don't omit the spaces, then the expected output should be AA backslash n space A backslash n A.
That's right. So what do you want to do? Do you want to consider the spaces or take it away? Let's consider the spaces. Alright, so the output should be A backslash N. Sakto? So this is the correct output. Very good. Pass. Alright. That works? Okay. What if murag feel ako sayon ra kayong 2. A length of 2 is very easy. Let's try something 3 or something. What can we do to make it fail? What next test case can we make so that we can have a fail test case?
Round 1, 2 words, first word longer than.
What if, let's say, what if let's make the column longer? Let's make the column 5 or something. Or 4. O sige. Sakto. Kung 4 siya, where should it break? So it should be AAA backslash N space A. Space backslash N A. Easy gihapon. No, that doesn't work. Let's say 5. Kani, mo fail ni or mo pass gihapon? A. Dili ang katong 4 kay mo pass man ni siya, I think. Di ba? Mo pass man ni siya. So what would fail? Would this fail? Yes, so is this our next simplest test case to fail? So what would the expected output be?
Dapat ka naman na expected. A back.
No. What we want to do, we want to wrap by word na. Wrap by word. Wrap by word naman ta karon atong gibuhat. What we want to do is wrap it by word. So, is this not correct? Is this what we expect? Do you understand? We want to wrap it by word now. Whenever any space, dili na to i-break. Ang the last AA, we don't want to break it up. We want to move the whole word to the next line. Understand? Okay, so is this a correctly phrased test?
Yes.
Okay, let's see it fail. Alright, fail. O sige. So, what is the thing that we can do to make this pass? What's the simplest thing we can do? One, two, three, four, five. If there's a space,
If yan i-wrap sa space yung mag-add, then i-wrap. If there is any space, kaya yung may count ang last index of from the current position of space.
no, we don't have to consider. We don't have to consider 4. Let's not, what if, well, let's do this. What if, let us not take this away. What if, kaniba? Oh, delete, no? Never mind. Sakto? Okay. What can we do? Let's find, at the point where we want to break, let's look for a space before that point and insert the new line after that space. Sakto? So if, let's see, if let's make it in pseudocode first. If the breakpoint is not a space, then find the space before the breakpoint and insert the new line after the space or before the space? After the space. Dili na lang nato include ang spaces, oy. What if ana na lang? Ilis na lang space. AA space A. What's the difference? Space A. Unya na lang. Mas complex naman na siya nga test. Let's solve this easy test first. Okay? So what do we do here? Don't solve later tests. Just solve this test. Okay. So is this correct? So let's do this. If if sentence dot car at column equals not equal space, sakto? Then we find the space before the breakpoint. Let's move the sentence to another string. Let's get the substring line equals sentence dot substring 0 to column. And then let's find the int space index of the line dot index of last index of space. Na? Okay, once we have the space index, we will return the sentence dot substring 0 to the space index. Space index mo mo kung ang lupad na. Space index plus backslash n plus wrap. Very useful recursion. Wrap sentence dot substring space index plus 1, not to include the space. Sakto? Unsa? Yes. Column. Why do we add column? No, we don't have to add column. Let's close substring first. And then let's add column. Ana din yung pasabot. Alright, is that correct? Is that correct? Let's run it. Violent reaction. Oh my. There's something wrong. So this should be else if. Dili, uy. Sakto? Huh? I don't think it matters if na else or wala. Kay mo return maghihapon siya diha. If musud siya dire, then mo return siya. Asa man ang error? String index out of range, car out wrap. Carman. Car at so equals. Basin dili plus 1 or something. At least dili siya magkuan out of bounds. Let's just see. Dili gihapon. Nagsulay-sulay rat ano batia. Space index. So what's wrong? Let's read our one again. If breakpoint is not a space, I know why. This should be inside if sentence is greater than column. Dapat sulod siya sa if sentence is greater than column. Sakto? Sakto? If sentence is greater than column. Sakto? Yes. Okay, let's see. Fail. Wrap once, one word. Ang ni-error siya diri sa wrap once, one word. Unsa to? Ah. What's wrong here? How do you mean? What's a space index? Pag-call niya dire. Pag-call niya dire, sentence length, dapat dili na siya musud dire. Maybe our test case is maybe atong test case kay complicated ra kayo. Maybe we need to back up. I don't think we should keep on going there. I think we should back up. What do you think? And let's back up. You want to back up? So what we want to do is delete everything that we did and go back. Let's ignore this test first. Brag, di na ko mahimutan kung dili ko makita green bar every once in a while. Okay, I feel better. I think our test case is too complicated. Dili na kayo lisod atong test case. Oh, sige. Let's try another attack. Unsa to? Unsa to? Wait. Maybe you're right, JR. But wait, what about this? What about this? Will this pass? 1, 2, 3, 4. Replace 2. Will this pass? Will this pass? Dili na, diba? But this is easier to solve. Sakto? When the space is on the break point. Sakto? Maybe this is easier to solve. Let's do this test case first. Yeah? Aha! Alright. Sige, so saan na to if sentence is times up. If sentence that length is greater than column, if sentence dot car at column equals space, then return sentence dot substring 0 to column plus \n plus wrap sentence dot substring column plus 1 comma column. Sakto? Unsa to? Alright, we can even take this out, no? Pwede man natin i-take out. We don't have to keep this in. Pwede na, di ba? Pwede na, di ba? Para mas simple atong code tanawon ba? Sakto? Sakto? Let's see if this passes. Dili, gubang empty string. Dito na lang sa sud. Diri na lang sa sud. Alright. Alright. Let's change the name of this test. Bita, mag-refactor na siguro ta. Let's call this space on break. Let's refactor. So, let's move this into another method. Let's call this chop or break string. Sakto? So we break string sa column dire. Dapat ma-appeal ning usa. Dapat ma-appeal ni siya. Let's undo that. Unsa may difference nila? Kanira column plus 1, di ba? So we can make that into a variable, di ba? Di ba? Let's make this into a variable kay para kuan. How do we extract variable? Extract v. Let's call this break. Uy, sa akong gibon. Let's call this break point something. So it should be breakpoint na po dire. Should it be breakpoint na po dire? Alright. And then let us extract this into a method. Hopefully ma-appeal ng usa. Na breakpoint. Break string. No, time's up. Break string. Yes. Nara. Okay na? Break string, ang sentence. Sakto ra? Breakpoint, wrap, breakpoint. Pero substring, hangtod breakpoint ba ni dapat? Dili, no? Hangtod breakpoint ni siya dapat. Sakto? And then maybe we don't need column. Okay na lang tag column. Pero dili ba nga para breakpoint ni siya dapat? It just so happens ang breakpoint lang ani niya is also column. But this should also be breakpoint, di ba? Isa ingon. Dili, kanira man i-change na to. Diba? Breakpoint, sakto, diba? Hoy, patay. Dili, breakpoint, dapat column.
Ang answer ay, wala pa man mag-replace ang pointer.
What's like replace?
Ang argument sa base tree.
Column ang gihapon. O, pass man. Ngano, Clark?
Kana, sir.
Kani? Na may breakpoint. This should still be correct. Ngano dili man ni siya musugot? Anyway, mo pass bitaw tong test. Change word. Breakpoint. Let's see that again. Let's see that fail again. Just to be sure. Yeah, that's right. Lahi man ang column. So this should be column git siguro. Sa may redundant. At sa may duplicate code. Sige. So breakpoint na lang ang atong So let's delete this and else breakpoint equals column. Kani siya should be breakpoint. Atong initialize ang breakpoint. Unya. Okay? Sakto? Breakpoint, if, else. Now, ano di makamusugot?
Okay, so sa if, sir.
Okay.
Sir, dili ka magamit ng ternary.
Di lagi ko ganahan ay na, mas nahugaw na lagi siya. Dili na kayo siya straightforward. Akong balikon.
Sir, what are we learn sentence, sir?
Okay. This is fine by me. Mas readable siya, mas understandable siya. Okay na? Okay, next. Next na be? Kato na ang difficult nga thing. Space. Before. Breakpoint. So assert equals string wrapper dot wrap AA space AA 3. Ana. Sakto? Unya, kung ingon ani 4. Dili mas simple lang 3. Pass rin po niya siya 4. AA space, dili pa. 1, 2, 3, 4 backslash n AA. Pila ko mo pass ran eh. Dili ni mo pass. Okay. So how do we make this pass? If else dire.
Else.
Else if sentence that car at
Column is not equal.
else na lang. Else return
Di ba mag-class
break
tayo?
string. Sentence column last index of. Maura?
Yes.
Sakto? Is that it? So nga ni kuan unreachable, nga ni unreachable siya. Kaya na naman ko yung else.
Else if.
That doesn't make sense. Unreachable gihapon. Maybe we don't need this anymore. Let's comment this out daw. Tanaw daw na to. Bati Tanaw. Diliton daw ni nato. Unya na lang. Tanaw na to ha. Fail. Naguba ang rap once, one word. We need this. If car at
It's not equal.
then else if na ay space before. That should be what it is. Gets inyo? Else if sentence that last index of space is greater than -1. Kay -1 man ang kuan.
Or not equal to, sir. Okay, after we check.
Sige. If not equal to -1. Sakto? Fail. Space before breakpoint. Naguba. Mao gihapon. Wala na to na solve.
Dili, and sir.
Unsaon nga no yan man?
It's not equal to what is the
Ay, wala pa yung space.
Unsa or break string. Sentence that last index of. Car at Tessa ha? Kung ingon ani, what should we do here? If the space is before the breakpoint, then we should find the space and insert a new line after the space. Unya, currently, ang atong break string, atong new line, kay ga-insert man ta last index of dapat -1 after the space man. Basin +1, last index of space. +1. +1. Try. Idea. False. Unsa may unsay conflict?
Walang space at breakpoint.
This one is space. Kanya sa next game na ano.
Dapat wala
Sir, pwede wala na yung space or ibang i-column plus one natin.
Unsa to? Ano dapat? Ano dapat? That's right, no? Try. Pati To be continued. Homework. Unsa? Plus one. Try. Digid ni siya i-post gid sa YouTube kay fail ni. Fail. Fail. Homework. I-post pero dapat kita rin makita kay embarrassing kaayo. Alright. Sige, so what we're going to do, we're going to try it again, maybe next time. Maybe helpful ni siya nga video, because maybe ato ning magamit as para atong kung ma-solve na ni nato correctly, maybe we can look back at this video and see kung asa ta nasayop, kung maybe sayop atong pag-sequence sa test cases, maybe sayop atong pag-solve sa mga individual test cases. I think nara din. Alright, so maybe we'll do that next meeting.